So earlier in the week, we talked about how the Caregiver Project pays for itself and how it's an opportunity with the Caregiver Act to change the country. We also realize here at the Caregiver Project that doing the whole Caregiver Act at once, $125 billion, might be too much to begin with. And so we have offered 3 pilot opportunities. And I wanted to take you through those and kind of why we've chosen these pilots. The first pilot that we've chosen would be to pilot the $12 an hour subsidy in Kentucky, Utah, and Washington State. That would cost about $5.8 billion, but it would return to the Treasury over a minimum of $8 billion a year. So again, better than budget neutral. Another pilot option that we're looking at is the state of Mississippi, the poorest state in America, eastern Kentucky, one of the very poorest parts of America, and western Pennsylvania, which is a very challenged part of America where lots of industry has been lost. And in those 3 areas, we would see just how the Caregiver Project and new middle-class jobs can reinvigorate economies in towns that have really suffered. So it'd be 3 areas where there would be great upside potential for the Caregiver Project. Cost on that would be about $2.8 billion, but again, we'd be returning over $4 billion to the Treasury. And then finally, about 1/10 the size of either of those projects would be a very small project in Northwest Washington State and in the city of New Orleans. And those are geographically isolated areas where we would hope not to affect neighboring counties, but also where we can see the effect on a very poor town in terms of New Orleans, who has suffered great loss since Katrina, and in Northwest Washington, where we have a high concentration of retirees and the caregiver crisis is very, very acute. And that would be about less than $300 million a year. And again, it would return over $500 million to the Treasury in the first year. So these are some options for piloting the Caregiver Project and the Caregiver Act. And we think they're good ones, and that we hope the House and Senate agree.